Hey everybody, Sneaky Narcotic, back at it again with another YouTube video. Today we're with some more War of the Spark spoilers. So let's go ahead and get into that. But before we do, I'd like to ask you guys to please like, share, and subscribe. It would help me out a lot, let me be able to do these types of videos more, and hopefully help me eventually quit my second job. So anyways, guys, without further ado, let's get started with our first spoiler of the day. Lazotep Behemoth. 4 generic, 1 black. It is a creature zombie hippo, and it is a common. Love the the creature type so much that the flavor text actually reflects that. I know it should be more concerned, but a big blue zombie potamus, I guess that's how exactly you say that, from beyond the stars, this is what they're invading us with, Meleva Boros Legionnaire, and it is a 5/4 for 5 mana, so it's really cool, as a creature type. Hippo tribal hasn't happened in a long time, and I know it's not with this, but it's still cool that they introduced the hippo zombie. Anyways, 5 mana for 5/4 vanilla. That's okay. I guess you could see top end play in limited, but other than that, it's more just for flavor. And to show you that Nicobolus also had his sense of humor. Anyways, let's keep going. Lazotep Plating. 1 generic, 1 blue, instant, uncommon, a mass 1. I'll read the mass trigger again 1 time each episode, so here it is. Put a +1/+1 counter on an army you control. If you don't control one, create a 0/0 black zombie army creature token first. You and permanents you control gain hexproof until end of turn. And they can't be targets of spells or abilities your opponent controls. So what I like about this, and I'm going to have to double check the mana cost, but I'm pretty sure I'm right. This is kind of like a dive down that also, that is a field effect instead of just a singular. And for those that don't know, dive down says target creature you control gets +0/+3 and gains hexproof until end of turn. This is what a lot of people have been using to kind of make sure that you don't get controlled out of the game entirely. I've seen it against mono red. It helps out a lot when you're in blue. So yeah, I can see this. You and permanents you control gain hexproof. I like that they don't just say you and creatures you control, because now that they're making this Planeswalker centric, it's pretty good to have permanents instead of creatures, you know. For those that aren't privy to the lore, Lazotep is actually what all of the Eternals are soaked in to make them stronger and less able to die. So anyways, that's just kind of cool for lore's sake that they do mention the Lazotep Plating. Yeah, let's keep going. God-Pharaoh statue, 6 mana, 6 generic mana, legendary artifact. It is an uncommon legendary artifact of all things. Spells your opponent's cast cost 2 more to cast. At the beginning of your unstep, each opponent loses 1 life. And the flavor text reads, a dictator's infuriating smirk, an affront to everything Ravnica stood for. So as you can see, it is a little bitty, well, not little bitty, I guess, but it is a statue of Nicobolus sitting up high in Ravnica. I expect more out of a legendary artifact. Suppose your opponent's cast costs 2 more to cast. That's a nuisance, but it can be worked around. And then it's only dealing 1 damage. I'd rather this just be an uncommon artifact. It already is an insane mana cost 6. That's I mean, it's insane in standard, not so much in modern, I'd guess. But it'd be, in my opinion, it'd be funner to play if they just moved the rarity up and made it a artifact instead of a legendary artifact, so you can have more than 1 out on the battlefield at a time. So yeah, that's all I got on that one. Sorin's Thirst. 2 black, instant common. Sorin's Thirst deals 2 damage to target creature, and you gain 2 life. The flavor text reads, I see you're out of the wall, Nahiri. Oh my god, guys. So for those that don't know, Sorin and Nahiri, yeah, they're still fighting. Rightfully so. They both have reasons to be pissed off of each other. I mean, at one point in time, each other has trapped each other in something. He was trapped in a wall of lithomancy, I think, and she was trapped in the Hell Vault with demons for multiple years while her plane was ravaged by Eldrazi Titans. So, I mean, they each have their own reasons to be pissed off at each other. But what I think is cool is, I believe, and I may be wrong about this, but it looks like they're actually fighting on top of this statue. If you look at the background here, that little gold thing, gold kind of trinket looking thing is on top of the statue. So it's pretty funny to me that they're fighting on top of this statue of Nicol Bolas. This episode actually is going to kind of be about Nahiri and Sorin. I'm going to have them at the end just to let you know. But anyways, let's keep going. Leyline Prowler. 1 generic, 1 black, 1 green. Creature, Nightmare Beast. Uncommon, Death Touch, Lifelink, and then it has tap, add 1 mana of any color. The flavor text reads, it feeds on the dark energies that course through the deep world and on any other creature lured by the Leyline's pull. It is a 2/3. So this card, actually, a lot of people have been raving about. Sure, it's an uncommon, which I honestly think with how much it says and how much it has, plus it being a 2/3, I really think the only thing that's keeping this from being a rare is that 1 generic mana. If it was just a green and black for all of this, it'd be ridiculous. And honestly, it wouldn't be that bad of a rare if they would just move it up to a rare slot with this. But as an uncommon, it's insane. Death Touch and Lifelink. Now, all it's missing, and I'm going to bring this back up in a little bit, but all it is missing is First Strike. And Death Touch and Lifelink is an insane combo by itself. There's cards played in Limited. I was watching another YouTuber and he brought up Aetherborn. Oh man, I had it earlier. Aetherborn something. But it also was, I think, a 2/3. Gifted Aetherborn. That's right. Gifted Aetherborn was a 2/3 Death Touch and Lifelink that not only saw an amazing amount of play in Standard, but also, according to him, in Modern and Legacy. Again, something I don't play as much, so I'm just going to check his opinion on that. So the difference in mana cost on that is that Gifted Aetherborn was 2 black, and Leyline Prowler is a black, a green, and a generic. So I really think that's good. Plus, it's a mana dork that adds 1 mana of any color, and that's really good to see. I almost want to say I'll see this in Commander somewhere, just to be in Commander with that 1 mana of any color is kind of good too. So anyways, let's keep on going before I spend all night talking about the Prowler. Bulkwark Giant. 5 generic, 1 white, creature giant soldier, also Gideon's girlfriend. It is a common. When Bulkwark Giant enters the battlefield, you gain 5 life. Where did she come from? More importantly, are there more like her? Gideon Jorah. It is a 3/6. So, again, being a common with kind of a vanilla feel, I feel like this, for it being a 3/6, will only just see play in Limited. It does gain you that 5 life, and that's decent. Maybe a Mirror March deck, honestly, but doubtful. There's way better effects other than just gaining people 5 life and being a 3/6. But it does, it shows... It shows how good a common can be, I guess. I don't know. In limited, like I said, it'll probably see play as a top end in sealed events or something like that. Oh, so yes, here are the two twins, Spellkeeper Weird and Spellgorger Weird. So I'm not aware of this creature type, but I actually read an article on it today, well, tidbits of an article, and basically this is a fan favorite creature type, being weird, I guess. I don't know, but let's go ahead and read through them. So, Spellkeeper Weird, 2 generic, 1 blue, creature weird. It is a common. Pay 2 generic and tap it to sacrifice Spellkeeper Weird. Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. Flavor text reads, they worked well as a team, but they knew it couldn't last forever, and it is a 1/4. I'm going to continue to read forward. Spellgorger Weird, 2 generic, 1 red, creature weird. It is a common. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a +1/+1 counter on Spellgorger Weird. Freed from their respective labs, the two weirds formed a partnership feeding on the arcane energies of war. So that's pretty cool. These little laboratory freaks, I guess, just fighting alongside each other, knowing that it won't last forever, but they're going to keep each other safe. And it's kind of cool because it's like fire and ice. Always the counterbalancing elements. But the thing I don't like about this, right, is that their abilities aren't counterbalancing. They're kind of not even fair. Like, if I had to choose one, I'd play Spellgorger over Spellkeeper, because Spellgorger actually stays on the battlefield and gets bigger, while Spellkeeper just gets you an instant or sorcery back. And granted, that could be a good thing. Spellkeeper also is a 1/4, so it's a good blocker, not necessarily going to kill what's blocking, but yeah, it's a good blocker. I don't know. Spellgorger seems like the better of the two, and be able to put a +1/+1 counter on him for each non-creature spell that you cast. That includes planeswalkers. So I think it would work out better. Maybe see play in mono red. I'm not certain, but maybe. Anyways, let's continue onward. Pouncing Lynx, 1 generic, 1 white, creature cat, common. As long as it's your turn, Pouncing Lynx has first strike. The flavor text reads, I don't understand, he's normally so well behaved. Aww. So it is a 2/1 that has first strike during your turn. I believe there's a soldier that does the same thing in Legion. Yeah, there's a soldier that does the same thing. First strike, Ravnica. It's in not Allegiance, but Guilds of Ravnica. And I believe it's the same thing. The only difference being this is a 2/1 cat, and I think that one's a 2/1 soldier. I wish I could look it up for you guys right now, but I just can't find it. And I don't want to waste the whole video talking about it, but I guess that one kind of saw play. It might have had Mentor. I think the other one would be more interesting and betterly played, because even as a soldier, it still is able to synchronize with other soldiers. Cat's just not a tribe right now, so this might see better play later on, but it's a common, so it's probably only ever going to be 25 cents, guys. Come on. War Screecher, 1 generic, 1 white, creature bird, common, flying, 5 generic, 1 white, tap it. Other creatures you control get a +1/+1 until end of turn. Soaring over Vidtu Ghazi, New Prov in Orzova, the Conclave trained Falcons provided critical intelligence, and it is a 1/3. I think it will see. I again think this will see play in limited for sure. Being able to basically anthem your other creatures for a turn, that's pretty good. And thankfully they don't have something stupid like sacrifice it and then do that. So I like that. Anyways, let's keep going. Invading Manticore. Now, they killed me with this card. So, Invading Manticore, 5 generic, 1 red, creature, zombie, Manticore, is a common. When Invading Manticore enters the battlefield, amass 2. And then it says, fallback, you're no match for this, Summit. And it is a 4/5. So, with all of that, they get us with the Manticore, which Manticores have normally been, like, very wordful and had cool effects, and not really, I don't think the last 2 Manticores were common. And then they bring us this crap with a Mass 2, and I know they gotta get a Mass cards out, but can you not ruin a Manticore like this? Manticore is one of my favorite creature types, because it's supposed to be complex and very interestingly played. Anyways, I don't like that. And then they're going to give it the flavor text, fallback, you're no match for this, Summit. No match for what? A 4/5 for 6? That's stupid. Anyways. Oh, yes. Krenko. Krenko, everybody's favorite goblin, is back. Krenko 10 Street Kingpin. 2 generic, 1 red, legendary creature, goblin, and it is a rare. Whenever Krenko 10 Street 10 Street Kingpin attacks, put a +1/+1 counter on it, then create a number of 1/1 red goblin creature tokens equal to Krenko's power. The flavor text reads, after the people flee, but before the enemy arrives. That's grabbing time. And it says 1 power, 2 toughness. So, what I like about this card is that it's just straightly generating you 1/1 red goblin creatures. This might make Goblin Tribal, and it's funny, it's not even a Lord, and it might make Goblin Tribal way better. Like, everybody knows Goblin Trash Master is the Lord card. But it's not good. It's not a good Lord card. I think it's like, of course, I have to always Google 3 or 4 things here. Goblin Trash Master. It is 4 mana to bring it out in a deck that normally, like, look at Krenko. Krenko's 3 mana, okay? Now, what I like about this is that it curves really good. So you have Krenko 10 Street Kingpin. I imagine before you play, so it goes like, in my perfect head here, it goes the stupid 1/1 haster goblin pirate, I can't ever remember his name. Then you go Goblin Instigator, which you get you 2 more 1/1 red goblins. Then you go Krenko, and then you go Goblin Trash Master, and then just keep on flooding the board with freaking goblins. And then eventually, of course, get the goblin that deals damage based on how much goblins you have on the field, and then just win the game. Just haste out the game with goblins. So I'd like to see Goblin Tribal come back as a tribe and really be worth it, and I think Krenko will definitely make that happen. Anyways, let's keep going. Lazotep Reaver. 1 generic, 1 black creature, zombie beast. It is a common. When it enters the battlefield, amass 1. Despite their many forms, the Eternals worked in chilling harmony, unburdened by instinct or emotion. 1 power, 2 toughness. So again, you just see that all these Eternals covered in Lazotep are working really well with each other, making Zombie Tribal look insane again. Yeah. So, Storrev, Devkarin Lich. Ooh, words. 1 generic, 2 black, 1 green, legendary creature, zombie elf wizard. Ooh, a zombie elf wizard. Interesting. Alright, why aren't you in Simic? With all those creature types. You have a rarity of rare here. It has trample. Whenever Storrev Devkarin Lich deals combat damage to a player or planeswalker, return to your hand target creature or planeswalker card in your graveyard that wasn't put there this combat. In times of war, only death flourishes, and it is a 5/4. So it almost feels like a a better version of Muldrotha. Granted, I know saying that Muldrotha costs a lot. That's what I'm mainly getting at here. Muldrotha costs a lot to get out, and then you have to make sure it stays alive. Where Storrev is a little more suitable to be able to stay alive, well, to be able to get out fast enough, I should say. I'd love to see a Sultai deck that's just all about recursion with Storrev and Muldrotha, since they're both in the same format, and then you have like Gravedigger and I'm brewing today. Gravedigger, Muldrotha, Storrev, Eldest Reborn, Fine Finality, because this is in Golgari Sultai colors. Fine Finality, I mean, you get the picture. Basically, just keep on bringing your creatures back and annoy the piss out of your opponent. That's what you do. Good job. Let's keep going. We have Deathsprout here. Now, I don't know why I have white borders on Deathsprout, but I do. So anyways, 1 generic, 2 black, and a green, instant, uncommon, destroy target creature, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tab, then shuffle your library. The flavor text reads, they say nothing lasts forever. I say everything lasts forever, just not in the form you may be accustomed to. Vraska. And of course, Vraska would say that she is the Golgari queen. They believe in life from death and death from life, in the continuous cycle of death and rebirth through death. I love it. I love the flavor text. I love everything about this card. It's basically an Assassin's Trophy. Okay, let's not go too far. It's not basically an Assassin's Trophy, but it feels like an Assassin's Trophy because it destroys something and gets a basic land, but the basic land's for you, and it has to destroy a specific thing, so that's why the rarity is down, I believe. But yeah, I love the artwork on it. Like, if you look, it's a tree growing out of this dead person, and that's just, again, showing her the saying what it is, just not in the form you may be accustomed to. Everything lasts forever. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool. I like it. It almost looks like she's turning into a Dryad, but whatever. It's not the point. Here's an interesting card. One of the ones that I was kind of confused about when it first came out, but it's here. Tolsmir, Friend 2 Wolves, 2 generic, 2 green, 1 white, legendary creature, elf, scout, and it is a rare. When Tolsmir Friend Wolves enter the battlefield, create Voja, Friend 2 Elves. Gosh, so many words here. Friend to Elves, a legendary 3/3 green and white wolf creature token. Whenever a wolf enters the battlefield under your control, you gain 3 life, and you may have that creature fight up to 1 target creature an opponent controls. So I'm really in love with this card, except for the fact there's not any wolves in Standard except for 2 so far. I think, as far as I've read or looked at, I think there's only 2, including the creature token that comes with this. There's only 2 in War of the Spark spoilers so far. And that's what's killing me, is that between her and Arlencord, I believe there could have been a wolf tribal, or werewolf tribal or something. Not werewolf with her, obviously. I think the werewolf isn't the same as wolf. I don't think it's were and then wolf. But it's been a minute since I played with werewolves, so I'm sorry. Side note, because that effect of you gain 3 life and you may have that creature fight up to 1 target creature an opponent controls is ridiculous. It's pretty good, and I really wish it could work. I even thought of her as like a commander, but again, the wolves just aren't really interesting. It's just her that's interesting, or him, or I guess that's a him. Is that a him? You know what? We don't gender here. We don't assign genders here. Okay. So, anyways, let's go to the next card. Oh, another interesting card, guys. Roll Inversion, 2 blue mana and a red. It is a sorcery rare. Exchange control of 2 target permanents that share a type. The flavor text reads, Youth Lon, the wise, scandalize the Sphinx Society by yelling riddles solutions while vandalizing 10th Street. Grangle, on the other hand, remains still for hours, lost in his thoughts and ignored by other goblins. So I guess they're saying that they basically switched mindsets. A Sphinx became a goblin and a goblin became a Sphinx. But anyways, what I love about this card is that it's exchange control of 2 target permanents. It doesn't say non-land permanents. So you could do this with lands. But on top of that, I imagine somebody just the turn after they bring out Nicol Bolas, right? Now they better destroy your because Nicol Bolas has the ability to destroy your Planeswalker. They better destroy it, otherwise you can exchange control for your Planeswalker with his Planeswalker and just have a Nicol Bolas and then kill your Planeswalker. Why not? That way they can't roll Inversion. But anyways, not the point. Point being that it basically is just a, hey, you can have my crappy crap and here's your good stuff on my side for the rest of the game. It's not even like, well, unless the card dies and then gets brought back, but that's a hypothetical. For the rest of the time that card is on the battlefield, that is your card. And that's a really cool spell. I see why they gave it the rarity, and it's relatively cheap. It's as much as a regular counter spell or a regular draw spell. And then on top of that, if you play Jeskai, you can do this at instant speed with Jeskai because of Teferi, the new Teferi printed. And so I love this card. I'm brewing. I'm thinking. I'm wanting 4 copies. On MTGA and probably in real life. Yeah. So I know we have a lot of comments today, but we got to get through the comments before we can get to the good cards. So just bear with me, guys. Bane Hound, 1 black creature nightmare hound. It looks awesome with 6 eyes. That's pretty cool. I do have a complaint about this card, but let me save it till the end. So it is a Nightmare Hound common, lifelink haste, and the card reads, I wish I could train a pack of them for hunting in the Undercity, but I'd never dare turn my back, and I hate to think what I'd have to feed them. Zosmer, Urban, Huntsmaster, and it is a 1/1 for 1. Now, lifelinking hasters, I love that. Because it guarantees you 1 life, you know? You just put it out there and bing, it either dies or it gets you a life. Well, it gets you a life and it either stays alive or dies. But anyways, what I wish they would do, because they keep, there's a couple Hound cards, right? There's one from Allegiance, I want to say, and then, of course, Mawu, and this card, and I think one other card that's been spoiled so far. So they have some sort of Hound thing. But going back to Tolsmir, why can't they just make them wolves? Just make them wolves. Or say Tolsmir is friends to wolves and hounds, because then we could have an actual tribe, and I'd love the piss out of it. But anyways, not the point. Point is, I like it in some cases. A lifelinker with haste is good, especially if you're turn 1. But also, lifelinking in general is just a really good ability. It's literally the one thing that keeps mono red on its toes. And it's a really overpowered ability, being able to tick up your limited amount of life. So if you can, let's say for instance, Sure Strike this thing, it becomes a 3/1 with First Strike, and I think Sure Strike actually does +3, so it becomes a 4/1 First Strike, and then it all of a sudden becomes an insane card, but of course it's only for 1 turn. But you get my point. This card could be ridiculous. So, anyways, single combat. We're going to go back to Sorin and Nahiri for a minute. I think until the end of the video, actually. Single combat. 3 generic, 2 white, sorcery, sorcery rare rarity. Each player chooses a creature or planeswalker they control, then sacrifices the rest. Players can't cast creatures or planeswalker spells until the end of your next turn. And then the flavor text reads, not even a threat to the entire multiverse could persuade them to put aside their feud. Showing you how pissed off they are at each other. Teacher and apprentice all in one, just going at it. Now let me read this real quick. Each player chooses a creature or planeswalker. Creature or planeswalker. Okay, so yeah, you only get one permanent. Pick your best creature or planeswalker, and then everything else dies. So, I don't know. I mean, the thing is, I like it in some ways. For instance, I like that it clears planeswalkers, because we have a lot of board wipes that do not clear planeswalkers. And it does give you a choice of you picking your best creature, which could still attack into their planeswalker. So it gives them the choice of, do they want to sacrifice their planeswalker? It doesn't target a player, so you get away from abilities. I think Teo has the ability to give you hexproof, and of course there's Shalai right now, but it gets around that ability by each player, not target player. But I still don't like that it's not fully one-sided. I kind of wish board clears would be fully one-sided, especially for 5 mana, because we have like Settle the Wreckage that's not fully one-sided, but it's still pretty damn good, and cards like that. So I don't know. I can't complain about board wipes, except for the fact that I wish they were better. Yeah. Nahiri Stoneblades. 1 generic, 1 red, instant, common. Up to 2 target creatures each get +2/+0 until end of turn. The ancient planeswalker Sorin and Nahiri battled planeswalkers Sorin and Nahiri battled across Ravnica, their blows cutting as deep as their grudges. I'm starting to wonder if Nicol Bolas is just sitting on the sidelines while Sorin and Nahiri just wreck the whole damn place. That could happen. That could totally be what happens. Anyways, let's in fact get to the cards themselves. Here you go. Nahiri Storm of Stone. 2 generic, 2 hybrid mana of red or white. Legendary planeswalker Nahiri. It is an uncommon. As long as it's your turn, creatures you control have first strike, and equip abilities you activate cost 1 less to activate. -X, Nahiri Storm of Stone deals X damage to target creature, to target tapped creature, and it starts out with 6 loyalty. So basically, it's like Gideon's Reproach for X mana, or for X loyalty to deal X damage. But anyways, I think it's Gideon's Reproach. Don't quote me on that. What I like about her is her more as an enchantment. As long as it's your turn, creatures you control have first strike and equip ability. The equip abilities I don't care too much about, although if we ever got an equipment draw card like Saram back, it would be able to be kind of a equip tribal again. But no, I'm more thinking as long as it's your turn, creatures you control have first strike. That's pretty good first strike. There's a card up there that, and I again wish I could think of the name of it. I remember how much mana it cost. It cost 4. I'm pretty sure 3 generic and 1 white. But it is a legendary creature from Dominaria that says each creature you have with first strike also gets double strike. And so that card is insanely good matched up with Nahiri. And I'd love to see them both on the battlefield at the same time. I'd love to see them both on the battlefield with Sorin, Vengeful Bloodlord. 2 generic, 1 white, 1 black, legendary planeswalker. Sorin, he is a rare. As long as it's your turn, creatures and planeswalkers you control have lifelink. +2, Sorin Vengeful Bloodlord deals 1 damage to target player or planeswalker, and then -X, return target creature card with converted mana cost X from your graveyard to the battlefield. That creature is a vampire in addition to its other types, and it starts out with 4 loyalty for 4. So if you go back and look at all these cards, a lot of these planeswalkers you're building in this set have a way of dealing damage. Davriel deals damage. Nahiri deals damage. Sorin deals damage. I'm not going to look at the rest of the list, but that's three planeswalkers already that you can get lifelink off of. And in fact, Davriel would be on par with Sorin because he's black. So it's viable to play Davriel in the same meta as Sorin, or same deck as Sorin. And just so, like, the reason I like them together is because Mardu First Strike, Mardu First Strike, Death Touchers, Lifelinkers. I'm thinking of making, there was an old card called Oldric, I think it was Oldric, Lunarch Marshal, and it was, if they reprinted that card right now, it would be insane with how much crap we have still left. It's Odric, Odric, and it was an Eldritch Moon. And it was amazing. It gave all creatures, all types that were already on the board. So if you had a creature with lifelink, then all creatures had lifelink. If you had a creature with first strike, then all creatures have first strike. Now, granted, so does Nahiri and so does Sorin. Say that about all your creatures, but I'm just saying that with the cards we have now, it's ridiculous. I don't know where I was going with that. Other than Sorin's ridiculous. I love Sorin. I'm going to get copies of Sorin because just giving every creature you control a lifelink is pretty good. Granted, he's already in colors that have lifelink. You have Child of the Night, and you have Healer Hawk, and I mean, Child of the Night is not nearly as played as Healer Hawk, because Healer Hawk's played in mono white, and Child of the Night is not played in any particular deck at all. But you get what I'm saying. And maybe that negative ability might come in handy for some weird type of vampire tribal, because it does give your new creature a vampirism. But anyways, I love these cards. I love to see that they're back and they're just fighting each other. I mean, even this, look, they're pissed off at each other. They're not even giving a crap about Nicol Bolas for real. Like, yeah, they probably came to kill Nicol Bolas and they were like, Nahiri? Sorin? Let's fight. And so, I'm quite enjoying this. I'm quite enjoying the set, guys. Please let me know what you, this is the end of the video, so please, first off, like, share, and subscribe, but also let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'd love to hear from you guys. Tell me what you think about Nahiri's ridiculous ability with, I think it's Quindy. It's Quindy. Quindy is something. But he's the one from Dominaria that gives all creatures with first strike, double strike. Let me know what you think about Sorin. There's an amazing, actually, come to think of it, there's already an insane combo, brewed with, Bloodthirsty Paladin, I want to say is the card's name, and Wizard's Wand. And basically, if you can give Bloodthirsty Paladin lifelink and the Wizard's Wand, because of how the Wizard's Wand reads, you can drain an opponent's life total all the way down immediately. Of course, in MTGA, it takes 5 years, and probably means that you're going to be skipping your turn and then having to do it on their upkeep, but with Sorin, that's another way of doing that. That wouldn't be too far-fetched, other than just, giving it lifelink for a turn. Anyways, sorry for dragging on. Please, guys, like, share, and subscribe. This has been Sneaky Narcotic, signing off.